Hi there, this is Shauna from the Foiled Fox with another project today. I will be using the Concord and Ninth Wildflower set, the Say Hello, and then the Happy Dive from Heidi Swapp. So I'm going to start out using Memento Tuxedo Black ink along with Nema white cardstock and stamp all these flowers. I'm going to stamp a bunch of them. They're going to be a lot more than I will actually need, but I like to have extras so I can use them for another project, or in case I make a boo-boo, then I have them right there. I'm going to show you how I colored them in case you're interested. I'm not going to bore you with coloring all of the different flowers that I have, but I will give you a sample of each one that I have colored. So I'm going to start out with the large open flower, and all the colors that I've colored with, we're using Copic markers, and the colors are shown above. So if you don't want to watch all this coloring, if you're not interested in that, feel free to fast forward to the next step. Otherwise, just sit back and enjoy the music. Okay, I'm back again. I'm just about finished with all of the coloring. Just have this one leaf to finish. These are in the greens, where the other small leaf was in the blue greens. So as soon as this gets finished, I'm going to then fussy cut out all the pieces that I think that I'll be using, and then we'll go on to the next step. You see here that as I cut them out, I do leave a little bit of a white border. I like to have that so that it gives it a little bit more definition when they all come together. With this long leaf, I did cut it out and then decided to go in between each of those little tiny leaves just to give it more definition. So there we are, we're all finished with that. Now I'm going to cut out the happy. I'm going to use a used dryer sheet just to aid in helping to get that dye, the paper out of the dye. If you haven't done this technique before, I highly recommend it. This is a deep dye, so I just put that dryer sheet on top of the paper and then the dye on top of that, and then cut it out. And you can see it comes out really easily, and then I just peel off the dryer sheet and we're all ready to go. I put the happy back in its little home because I want to make an ombre coloring of this happy, and so to do that I just start coloring with my light color. I color everything with that light color, which is the RV10 in this case, and then I'll do the midsection with the R32, and then the bottom will be the R24. I'll go over it a few times just because I want more color saturation. And then once everything is, the three colors are colored, I'm going to go back over it with the RV10 just to smooth everything out. That means I'm going to go back over the entire happy. And once this is done, then I'm going to actually cut out another happy because I want to give a little dimension, and I'm going to just use a two-way glue pen, put some glue on there and then stick it on the happy. Then using the black and white My Favorite Things paper pack, I'm going to take a piece of diagonal paper, cut out a panel, and then I'm going to arrange these flowers on there. I'm not going to stick them down yet. I'm just going to arrange them, kind of going to get an idea how I want this to all come together. And then I'll kind of pull it apart and go from there. Next, I'm going to make the birthday part of this sentiment. And this I'm using the black cardstock, using the anti-static, which I highly recommend, so that the embossing powder doesn't stick everywhere you don't want it. And then stamp it with Versamark ink, and then I'm going to heat emboss it with white embossing powder. The embossing powder I'm using here is Hero Arts. I really like their powder, so I seem to stick with that. So you can see, even with using that anti-static, it's still some of the embossing powder stuck in places that I just didn't want it, but I could brush that off just to get it out of the way. Now I'm heat embossing it. Then I'm going to cut that out using a My Favorite Things die set that cuts out those little banners. I'm going to now put all the foam tape or use adhesive to stick this all together. You'll see here in a minute where I go to all the trouble of putting all the foam tape on the happy, and then I decide, oh, I think I want to have this covered with glossy accents so it has a glossy finish when it's completed. Putting all that foam tape on the back of the happy is a little bit tedious, but I really love the result, so I hang in there and get that done. So I'm going to go back and reconstruct that kind of layout that I had thought of before. Now oftentimes, if I've done a layout just to kind of play with it and see if I like it, and then if I like it, I'll often take a picture of it so that I can go back and refer to it. This one I could actually remember, but that's a good trick in case you haven't tried it yourself, so that way you don't have to remember every little placement. So I have all the flowers stuck down, but not the happy or the birthday yet. I'm going to first start with a white card base, and then I cut another panel that's solid black, and then I'm going to stick that down on the diagonal, and then I will stick down the flower panel. But as you can see, just as I said, I decided, oh, I think I want to have some glossy accents on there, so I'm applying that. If you have not done this before, it gives a really nice glossy dimensional look, and I love it, but it takes a long time to dry, and I'm very impatient, and so that's a little frustration. So often I ruin them because I just don't take the time. So if you're going to do this, please allow it to dry all the way. So here, as I had mentioned, I'm just going to tape down the black panel onto the white card base, and then I will add the top panel on top of that. The final steps will be to add the happy and the birthday, the sentiment. And so I'm just going to put that in position. And for a pop of color, I'm going to add some of the Doodlebug enamel dots. Some aqua ones, or teal, they really just kind of livened up the card, I think. And there we are. We're all finished with the project. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me today. We really appreciate that. Please pop over to our blog at foilfox.com/blog and see other ideas and inspirations we have. And then also, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks so much. See you next time.